Welcome back. Sticking with the politics lead now, a former Trump campaign aide telling CNN that investigators for special counsel Robert Mueller asked him about Hope Hicks's claims that there were zero contacts between the Trump campaign and Russian operatives, claims made just 2 days after the 2016 election, claims that obviously were false. Joining me now is Democratic Congressman Mike Quigley of Illinois. He serves on the House Intelligence Committee. Congressman, thanks for joining us. Your committee questioned Hope Hicks on Tuesday. Sources say during that meeting, those questions, she admitted telling, quote, white lies on behalf of the president, refused to answer questions about her time inside the White House. I know you were there for about 5 hours of the 9-hour testimony. Was she asked about that denial she made?
Oh, I think the 9 hours she got asked just about everything, including that. What's most disturbing is the fact is she wasn't able to answer because of the gag order questions involving the most critical time in her involvement with the Trump associates.
Yesterday, she announced she's leaving the White House in the coming weeks. Did you have any inkling that this was coming? Do you think it has something to do with the Russia investigation?
No inkling at all. I thought she was calm, composed, extraordinarily well prepared. I've heard rumblings that the president said something like, "How could you be so stupid?" I think she was anything but stupid. She was extraordinarily ready for that interview yesterday. And aside from the fact that she couldn't talk about certain things in time frames because of the gag order, I had a hard time believing that she wasn't forthcoming about the other periods.
In terms of the comments you made about telling white lies on behalf of the president, there's obviously a big difference between telling somebody who's on the phone he's in a meeting, he can't talk to you, which is a white lie that I think nobody would really object to, and lying to the public, lying to a reporter about something of consequence. Did she mean one or the other in particular?
It's hard to tell. If we're not allowed to push a witness to answer questions about all time frames, it's extraordinarily difficult to know. It's deep within her own mind what she really meant, how much she was willing to protect the president. It's clear to me in watching witnesses, perhaps now over 60 in over a year's period, those close to the president were willing to do just about anything to defend him. So I suppose if we're lucky, we'll get her back under subpoena under this time frame, and we'll find out more. But right now, we've been stalled and stymied on this investigation because my Republican friends are willing to let the White House install a gag order on our key witnesses.
Well, speaking of your Republican friends, take a listen to your colleague, Republican Congressman Tom Rooney, who's also on the House Intelligence Committee.
We need to end this investigation. It's been going on for a year. We've interviewed scores of witnesses, and now we've gotten to the point now where we're literally bringing people in for 9 hours just so the Democrats can leak to the press something as ridiculous as white lies.
How do you respond, sir?
Yeah, let's put aside yesterday's testimony because in the grand scheme of things, it's not that critical. We have not even touched on money laundering, right? Deutsche Bank has fined $610 million for helping the Russians launder money. And who was the Trump financial world financing? Trump associates. It came from Deutsche Bank. We haven't talked about Peter Smith. We've let people like Sessions, Trump Jr., Lewandowski, and Bannon not answer critical questions. So sure, it's taken a year. A lot of that's because we've wasted time on the memo. And we've let the White House dictate how we're going to move forward on the investigation. If they're serious about this, let Mr. Nunes stand aside. I don't think this is on Mr. Rooney. I think it's on the Speaker of the House for letting them do this. And he is complicit as anyone in stalling this investigation and, frankly, obstructing it.
The White House has not implemented the sanctions that Congress overwhelmingly passed against Russia for election interference. Do you think that that is relevant to the Russia investigation?
It's extraordinary that no one in the White House, no one in the majority, in the House and Senate, hasn't spoken out about this. Any other law that we pass so overwhelmingly that the executive branch says, hey, we're not going to enforce this, it's just beyond comprehension. And the fact of the matter is, the White House has said, and the President has said, that there's nothing to this, but he's certainly acting when he does this and he doesn't implement this law like the Russians have something on him.
Congressman Mike Quigley, thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it, sir.